Today's symposium also holds special significance. China's growing role in the global order, and in particular, its influence on its strategic neighbors, Vietnam, Cambodia, Burma, and North Korea. China's policies towards these countries, while demonstrating certain continuity, have changed because of China's growing power. And today's conference seeks to uncover not only the continuity and change, but also to examine how China's neighbors understand these changes and how they are responding.
Today's conference intends to analyze to what extent China is going to expand its economic power internationally and regionally, and if and how it will transform it into political power. Can we see any similarities between China's policies towards Vietnam, Burma, Cambodia, and North Korea, and what conclusions can be made? I personally am very much optimistic that China will take over more responsibility in the world in the future and will act as a reliable power. It has already played a pivotal role getting over the financial crisis in the past years. But what role will China play to secure peace and stability in this region of the world, and what role does it play today? And is it a similar role it played in the countries where our speakers come from today?
Although there are different opinions among Chinese scholars, China is rising is almost a consensus. So, what role will China, as an emerging power, play in global economic and security organizations? Will China compete with the United States for the world leading power? In China's perspective, the answer is absolutely no. China has been pursuing peaceful rights and made important contribution to economic growth in Asia and beyond. There's a list about China that means China is the largest car consumer, China is the largest car producer. It's a long list, but it remains the largest developing country. China's domestic problem weakened its capability in maintaining internal stability and playing international role. Although China's gross domestic product is the second largest in the world, the per capita figure is only 1/10 of that of developed countries. China is the leading producer of many important products, but remains at the lower end of the global industry chain. That's why China still pay main attention on its domestic problems. Those problems make achievement weak. A popular opinion in Chinese scholars is that international responsibility is related to national capability. The failure is that China is reluctant to assume responsibility beyond its capability. China has a long way to go before it achieves superpower status. Otherwise, China has different understanding on international responsibility with the United States. China prefers attracting followers rather than to be a hegemony. As a modern state, China advocates mutual respect and equal sovereignty now. China prefers to play a role in international society by reforming the international order rather than constructing a new one, balancing U.S. force, not replacing it, saying no to what it disagrees, not saying yes to what it agrees to.
Kim Jong-il visited China. Through the special relationship between China and North Korea was reaffirmed. For the past 2 years, China was faced with 3 large crises in the Korean Peninsula. First, North Korean nuclear issue, second, Cheonan incident, and third, the attack on the Yongsan Island. At that time, China seems to take the side of North Korea. However, Sino-North Korean relationship is not as solid as we believe. However, it is quite difficult to expect a sudden change in China's North Korea policy. China sees North Korean problem in the context of Northeast Asian level. China understands North Korean issue as a part of the process that draws the big picture to maintain the order of Korean Peninsula and Northeast Asia, as well as creating a new order. China is concerned with the possibility of collapse of North Korean regime. So if China pressures North Korea, it is likely China will inherit the consequences. China doesn't have a choice but to try to maintain current conditions. So China believes devoting everything can bring more uncertainty in their future Northeast Asia strategy.
The relationship is very special. In 2005, Vietnam and China promote for a good spirit and a good neighbor, good friend, good commerce, and good partner. In 1991, the trade volume between Vietnam and China just about $27 million US, but in 2010, it's back to $27 million US. In 1991, the Vietnam-China trade volume account only for about 1.65% of Vietnam total trade volume. In 2010, this rise to about 17%. However, Vietnam and China also have some obstacles in relation. Since 2001, Vietnam started to have trade deficits with China at about $200 million US. And in 2010, the trade deficit of Vietnam to China peaked to $12.7 million US. If we see more detail in Vietnam and China trade relation, we can see that Vietnam will export raw material and finished product which have a low added value. And Vietnam imports from China manufacture product which have higher added value in technology. And the increasing penetration of Chinese goods in Vietnam domestic markets in many products from machine equipment to consumer goods. And China investors just focus on some conventional industry, not have any investment project in high technology.
Myanmar has come to the peak when the U.S. and the Western governments have submitted the call for wider sanctions at the UN Security Councils in 2007. Then the Chinese veto the call, and then since then, I think Chinese support for Myanmar has become quite complete and very supportive. What we are seeing is the course of the evolution where Myanmar has totally become totally dependent on China in both political and economic spheres, and then. China has been supporting the Burmese military in terms of arms supply, in terms of training, in terms of strategic advice, and then because Chinese perceive that the Burmese military is the strongest institution in the country that can control the country united. In terms of geopolitics and security cooperation, of course, a rising China with concern about the energy security and also the resource needs and the market access. They have come up with a very huge project recently to build a pipeline across Myanmar. The most important aspect of the cooperation is in the naval exercises. So I think this is another area Myanmar will become part of the Chinese strategy to assess the two oceans. And then another feature which is really problematic is resource extraction. Myanmar, even though we are small, but we have a vast endowment of natural resources, and then the Chinese has been taking all kinds of natural resources found in Myanmar, and the country quickly became a resource pit for China.
In the Cambodian point of view, the good relationship with China is not only historical but a must when China is surrounded by more powerful and expansionist neighbors. And in the strategic point of view of China, Cambodia was a reliable ally for her presence in Southeast Asian region. The Chinese investment in Cambodia is the largest in various fields without string attached as in the past. It deals with the construction of road infrastructure, agriculture and trade. On the military side, China plays the role of substitute. Cambodia is of strategic importance for China. From there she can reach in all directions, and the seaport of Sihanoukville, like the Navy port of Ream, may be viewed as another Navy facilities among all the string of Navy facilities she planned to set up in the region. As long as China and the USA get along well, the stability of this Asia-Pacific region, of Southeast Asian regions and of Cambodia will continue. In terms of her own security, Cambodia continues to consider the good relationship with China of utmost importance, because China has shown to be a reliable ally